So you have about 10 minutes to complete these character profiles, okay?
At the Our Time workshop in New York City, young people who stutter come together in a patient and understanding environment.
I am Danielle, and I am 19 years old.
My name is Claire, and I am 8 years old.
I'm Juliana, and I'm 13 years old.
My name is Philip, and I'm 15 years old.
I'm Tyler, and I am 10 years old.
What does it feel like physically when you're stuttering?
It kind of feels, like at times, like there's like no, like air, like passing, like through you, and you're, locked in, your throat.
When
people who stuttered were considered feeble-minded. I mean, word went around that George VI was feeble-minded because he stuttered.
my first word.
Screenwriter David Seidler understands the humiliation Britain's King George VI felt. As a child, Seidler suffered from a severe stutter.
He was my childhood hero. That's why I grew up always thinking one day I want to write something about King George VI.
I have received
And so the British-born Seidler scripted the Oscar-nominated The King's Speech.
Here was a man who was the king. He was speaking to the world. Everyone, friend or foe, was listening to every syllable he uttered, waiting for him to stutter. And if he could do that, there was hope for me.
Though Seidler seems to have overcome his impediment, he still counts himself among the 3 million Americans and 65 million worldwide who stutter. Experts define stuttering, also called stammering, as an involuntary disruption of the rhythm and flow of speech. The person knows what he or she wants to say, but just can't produce the words fluently. Boys are 3 to 4 times more likely to stutter than girls. And just as no two people have the same voice, no two people stutter in the same way.
You may not know a child is stuttering when they're just producing one word.
Christine Weber-Fox and Ann Smith are the lead researchers at Purdue University's Stuttering Project.
When they start putting words together is usually when you see it. So, mommy, up, or daddy, eat, or something like that. And so you typically see it maybe at around age 3.
Speaking, they point out, is complex for anyone. What's going on physiologically when we speak?
First of all, you have so many muscles you have to control. You have to think of what you want to say. You have to generate the grammar. So there's just many, many levels of activity in the brain, very widespread activity when you're speaking.
And it turns out that the emotional system also, the whole brain, everything in the brain is interacting, and so that impacts how we control our muscles.
Over the course of 5 years, Smith and Weber-Fox are following 72 children who stutter, monitoring their brain waves and testing their motor skills. Some will stop stuttering, others will not.
We don't have any good predictor of who are these children who are at really high risk for chronic stuttering. And so by the end of our project, we're really hoping that we'll be able to key in on what are those key things that might differentiate.
I think just coming to therapy has built my self-confidence.
Lee Caggiano became a speech therapist 20 years ago after her own son began stuttering. She used to meet parents who were certain they knew what caused their kid stuttering. What would a parent say typically back then?
That they did something wrong, that they disciplined their kid wrong, they toilet trained their child wrong, they talked too fast, they talked too slow, they talked too much, they didn't talk enough. Something they did that must have caused the stuttering.
Researchers don't know exactly what causes stuttering, The roots are neurological. It's not caused by anxiety. Studies show there is a genetic component. It runs in some families. But for Caggiano, what causes the stuttering isn't as important as the emotional impact.
Is it fair to say it's more about making you comfortable with yourself than actually eliminating the stutter?
Yeah, especially since eliminating the stuttering, for many people, the only way to do that is to stop speaking.
Someone who is not speaking? The founder of Our Time, Taro Alexander. He was 11 when he realized he was a stutterer.
I became obsessed with not stuttering. I mean, it really, from age 11 to about 26 years old, that was my #1 goal in life, was to just not let anyone know that I stuttered.
And he developed an elaborate toolbox of tricks to mask his stuttering.
Give me an example of some of the tricks you deploy.
Oh, excuse me. Really...
Oh, I thought maybe that was one of them.
It is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm just really tired. I would yawn through a whole conversation because I would never stutter when I yawned.
I would whisper a lot. I don't know what happened, but I lost my voice last night.
And you don't stutter when you whisper?
I would never stutter. For me, this is not like a rule about stuttering, but this is effective for me.
But 12 years ago, Alexander slipped. Performing on stage, he stuttered. That's when he decided to stop hiding.
And now, when I stutter, because the emotional baggage is no longer there, and it's not a big thing to me anymore, you know?
Since I've got some extensive survival...
15-year-old Philip from Our Time sees an upside to the challenge he faces in speaking.
One thing that I think is pretty universal for stutterers is that since we need to deal with this every single day of our lives, I think that everyone will agree that it really teaches compassion.
Still, the most ordinary interactions can be fraught for stuttering kids and grown-ups alike.
And there's a lot of experiences as a new dad, meeting other parents, having to say your kid's name. And, you know, that can be really hard.
Do you sometimes have trouble saying your kids' names?
Yeah, I do. For a long time, I thought, you know, I don't know that I want to have kids because I don't know what I would name them. Because I don't want to stutter on their name for their whole life, you know? I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that parent when everyone's introducing their kids' names. And not even for me, but for my kid. You know, what will my kid think of me when I can't say their name?
You and your wife ended up giving your kids the names you wanted to give them.
That's a great question. You know, we did. We did.
I don't want to put you on the spot and ask your boys' names,
yeah.
But what are your boys' names?
Yeah, so my oldest son, his name is Jackson, and my youngest son's name is Walker.
Those are great names.
Thank you.
Be bold, be brave, and be beautiful, right?
Stuttering might alter a life, but Alexander believes it should never compromise it.
When I say our time, you say about time. Our time, our time.
I'm interested in the medical field.
When I say our time, you say rock it out. Our time.
I'm going to go to college to become a photojournalist.
Our time, our time. See y'all next week. Have a good one. All right. That was great.